It is my pleasure to welcome into this conversation the young man who recently hoisted some pretty cool hardware in our state. In the world of amateur golf, it doesn't get any more prestigious than winning the Michigan Amateur Championship, and that's exactly what Ann Arbor's Tyler Copp did. And Tyler, first of all, congrats. It's been a few days. How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm actually I just got back from work, so it's back to the weekly grind of just having a 9 to 5 job. So it's kind of miss playing in the competition and whatnot and winning that tournament. So weekend was it was a tired weekend. I was pretty exhausted just from everything. So um, but uh, I mean, I'm ready to get back after it now, to be honest.
Well, you kind of shattered the image a little bit. You're not supposed to have to go back to work after you win the amateur championship. You're supposed to be at I think, a ticker tape parade somewhere or just, a nonstop celebration. So what was the party like on the day that you won it?
Yeah, well, so it was up north, so I live 3.5 hours from. So I drove home, and I had we went downtown Ann Arbor with my family, and so we had a nice little dinner there, and then that Friday I had a paper due by midnight, so I had to crank that out late Friday night, and it was a killer. So I didn't really get to celebrate too much there, and all my buddies were in Nashville having the time, so I was stuck with my parents, believe it or not.
Well, that week that uh, was contested. The Michigan Amateur was contested at the beautiful Heather Course at Boyne Highlands, and it's a fantastic venue. It's hosted so many great events over the years, but it's not like you just had to win one or two matches. It's a pretty long, grueling week, even for a 22-year-old. Can you talk about a little bit the balance between the requirement for really good play, but also pretty good stamina?
Yeah. So, well, especially so the first 2 days are stroke play, and I mean, so that kind of sets the field. That sets the field for the top 64 in the match play. And so, stroke play, not really trying to do too much, or at least that was my strategy. Not try and be too, hard on myself if bad shots, went wrong, because it's if you're there till the 96th hole, I think it was, that I ended up playing, or maybe even more. You're just that's just so taxing on you mentally. So you got to keep an even keel the whole week, and especially the earlier in the week. We had rain, a ton of rain and wind and stuff. So like, kind of gotta just kind of like enjoy that a little bit as much as you can and stuff. Um, so stamina definitely plays a part in it, but if you're so locked in and so focused, which I was, and I think I was, and I did a very good job at it, then kind of almost, you're not even thinking about your fatigue at all. You're just kind of thinking about, what you need to do to win. And that's what your mind's set on.
Well, it may be a surprise or maybe just a point of information for our audience, but the Michigan Amateur Week, as you briefly mentioned, starts with stroke play to qualify for the match play brackets. Kind of think of it as making the cut. And once you make the cut, then you start going head to head and working your way through the NCAA looking bracket.
And March Madness kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, March Madness or a June Madness. Actually, 2020 is full of madness, so we'll
Yeah,
just call it
it
2020
is.
Madness. So during stroke play, with the weather not cooperating, was there ever a time, or were you at all close to the cut line?
Um, no, not particularly. The first day, I thought I played pretty well, but I didn't score very well. And so like, I was still comfortably in it, but like, I was just, the next day I'm like, what, just like go out there and, hit fairways and greens and stuff, and you'll be fine. And, I wasn't really too worried about it. If I was starting to kind of lose some shots and stuff, then I probably would have been, we had the live scoring. So I would have been checking my phone, trying to kind of gauge where the cut would have been at. And so I would have factored that in, like, well, do I need par here or do I need birdie, kind of, because I think that can be helpful in how you play a hole and whatnot, because if you need birdie, you might need to take a little bit more of an aggressive line or whatnot.
Right.
And so, But I was never like close to losing it. I mean, I ended up being the 15 seed. So I think, yeah, 15 seed. I was T13 after stroke play. So, I mean, I was comfortably in it and stuff. And that's all I really wanted out of stroke play.
Here's the part, Tyler, about your storyline that's going to drive a lot of us nuts. You're a hockey player. What are you doing winning golf championships? Come on, man, stick to a sport.
Yeah, well, I haven't played. It's been a while since I haven't played hockey in 4 years. So I've that was a big part of my life, but the last 4 years have all been about golf. So while I come from a hockey family and whatnot, and nobody in my family is a good golfer, so I'm not sure how that happened, but
Well,
here we are.
the journey to the championship, of course, through the match play brackets can sometimes bring about some drama. And sometimes if somebody else is off their game for a day, it can result in a blowout and you can take a few holes off, or you
Right.
can stop a little bit early, I should say, to be more accurate.
Mhm.
What was your bracket journey like? Was there a close call? Did you go down to the final hole? Or I know that in your semifinal, it was a pretty dominating 7-5 win.
Yeah. Yeah. Ultimately, it was about as stress-free as it honestly could have been. I never played the 18th hole, so that was always nice, and that hole is quite the beast.
Yeah.
So that's probably a good thing. But yeah, and it was never too worried about everything. Like I mean, my brother and stuff, he was doing the stats after and stuff, and so I was only losing for 2 holes during, I think it was the 96 holes of match play. So if I was only losing for 2 holes and they were both very early on and I won the next hole. So if you're only down for 2 holes out of 96, that keeps you mentally more than anything, that keeps you kind of in front and stuff and setting the tone and whatnot. So I was never really close. Yeah, the semifinals 7-5, like I was playing solid, and Logan, who I was playing, he was struggling a little bit. And so it kind of worked out where that match ended quickly. But I never got. I mean, like I said, never played the 18th hole, so it was somewhat comfortable, honestly.
Well, every championship has a great story to it. And for you, part of, I think, the great story is that you beat a lot of Big Ten golfers, people who came into this, I would have to think, being favored over the guy from Mercer University in Georgia.
Hmm.
So, one, how does an Ann Arbor kid end up at Mercer in Georgia? And two, how did it feel to take down some Big Ten kids that probably would have been favored coming in?
Yeah. Well, to start with, how at Mercer from Ann Arbor, it was after my gap year, the summer after my gap year. And I was just trying to find a place to play somewhere D1, whether it was walking on or whatever. And so my coach found my recruiting video, and I mean, within a week, I was going there. And so I wanted to play in the South, just for weather purposes, really. But at that point, I wasn't too picky. So it kind of worked out nicely where we can play golf year round there. So that was nice, and that was kind of just by sheer coincidence. As for, I mean, yeah, I beat 3 Michigan State Spartans. So that was fun for me because we're a big Michigan fan, and my brother played at Michigan, played hockey at Michigan. So we're diehard blue, and so one of them was Charlie Green, who is a really good family friend of ours. We've known him for like 15 years, and so that was a fun match we had. And then Andrew Walker, he's been state champion. I mean, he's very good, and um, I was able to handle him well. And then James Pyatt in the final, another Spartan, friends with him and stuff, and he caddied for me in the qualifier for the Michigan AM. So bit of irony there. But
Well, as a Wolverine grad, as an alum, it does my heart good to
yeah,
see the. I mean, no offense to our listeners who are green and white in their leanings, but hey, go blue! It's all good.
yeah,
And um, when you reach this milestone, you won the 109th Michigan Amateur Championship. When you reach that milestone, how does it impact what your hopes and dreams are? I don't know, Tyler. Maybe you're just planning to be a fantastic amateur golfer forever, or maybe like many who have gone before you have dreams of playing golf professionally. So what's the dream, and how does this impact it?
Yeah, I mean, definitely I won't be an amateur golfer for life. That will not be I will not be a Stuart Hagerstad, if you will. But I will probably there's a good chance I'll turn pro next year and stuff. And so like, I'll try and go through some of the qualifying for, maybe Corn Ferry Tour, which is the tour below the PGA Tour, Canadian Tour, Latin American Tour. So, this helps me, just gain that confidence, and be like, you know what, I can go at these, qualifiers and, have a good chance to make it through and whatnot. And playing just other big amateur tournaments and, my senior season in college, going there to not just, playing tournaments, but trying to win them. And so this definitely does a big help for towards my goal of becoming a professional golfer, which would be pretty ideal to me.
Hey, man, I wish you nothing but the best. A few weeks ago, I interviewed a trio of young men who grew up in Heartland, Michigan, and now live together in Orlando. And
Oh yeah.
they're grinding away on the mini tours. They're trying to get into every event anytime, where sometimes the entry fee is pretty close to what the prize money would be and that kind of thing. As you're not dumb, it's a difficult journey to say the least. And having this feather in your resume, or at least in your confidence resume, I think will go a long way towards helping you through the inevitable days when things don't go the way you wish they would.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's a big thing, and that was one thing that as I can see the trophy I got, the one that I'll individual have is, I can look at that trophy, on bad days in golf, because everyone knows there's terrible days in golf when you just want to just throw your clubs in the lake. So I can look at that and then just kind of serve as a reminder of what I'm capable of, and and where my potential lies and whatnot. So that's important for golf, where you just got to try and keep your head up, keep your chin up, go up, and just keep going,
Yeah.
keep working at it. So
Well, man, congratulations. Good to meet you virtually. Good to share your story with our audience, and best wishes to you. Let's stay in touch as you continue this climb. And man, congrats. The 109th Michigan Amateur Champion is Tyler Copp. And let the confetti rain down from every building in Ann Arbor, I guess, is how it goes.
yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.